She knew she shouldn't be there. That was the first thought that hit her the second her fingers touched the keys. Not this is dangerous. Not I'll get caught. Just, I shouldn't be here. The mansion was asleep. Too asleep. The kind of silence that made every breath feel loud, every heartbeat feel exposed. The chandeliers were dark. The marble floors cold beneath her bare feet. Somewhere far down the hall, a clock ticked, slow and deliberate, like it was counting something. She hadn't planned to come into this room. She hadn't planned to sit. She hadn't planned to touch the piano. She'd only meant to walk past it. But the second she saw it, something in her chest tightened. Not fear. Not memory. Something worse. Longing. The piano sat in the center of the ballroom like a sealed vault. Black. Polished. Untouched. No dust on the keys. No fingerprints. No signs anyone had dared go near it in years. Everyone in the mansion knew the rule. Nothing in this room was ever to be touched. Not the furniture. Not the walls. Not the piano. Not unless you wanted to disappear. She stood there longer than she meant to. Her hands curled slowly into fists at her sides, like her body was fighting itself. Like part of her was trying to move forward while the other part begged her to turn around and go back to the safety of invisibility. She should have left. Instead, she sat. The bench felt colder than she expected. The air smelled faintly of polish and something metallic underneath, like money and power lived in the walls themselves. Her reflection stared back at her from the piano's surface. A maid's uniform. Hair pulled tight. No jewelry. No color. No evidence that anything complicated lived behind her eyes. That was intentional. Her name was Nyla now. Not the name on her diplomas. Not the name that used to appear in articles. Not the name that once meant brilliance instead of liability. Just Nyla. Simple. Forgettable. Safe. She stared at the keys. Her hands hovered. She hadn't touched a piano in years. Not since before everything collapsed. Before courtrooms. Before sealed records. Before her name stopped opening doors and started closing them. Before she learned that being right didn't mean being protected. Before silence became survival. Her fingers trembled. She told herself she would only press one key. Just to remember how it felt. Just to prove she still could. Her finger came down. The sound bloomed into the room, soft and warm and impossibly loud against the silence. Her breath hitched. Not because it was beautiful. Because it hurt. The note vibrated through her bones like something waking up inside her that had been asleep too long. Her shoulders dropped without permission. Her jaw loosened. Her chest tightened in a way that had nothing to do with fear and everything to do with loss. She pressed another key. Then another. The melody came before thought could stop it. Slow. Raw. Fragile. Not practiced. Not perfect. Something closer to grief than music. Something that sounded like apology. Like confession. Like a part of her she'd buried trying to claw its way back to the surface. Her eyes closed. For a few seconds, she forgot where she was. Forgot who owned this room. Forgot that she wasn't supposed to exist loudly. The music filled the space, echoing softly off the high ceilings, rolling through the empty ballroom like something living. Her fingers moved faster, stronger, like muscle memory was outrunning fear. Like her body remembered who she'd been even if her mind refused to. Her breathing slowed. Her shoulders softened. For the first time in years, she didn't feel invisible. She felt alive. And that's when it happened. Not footsteps. Not a door. Not a sound at all. Just a shift. The air changed. The kind of change you feel when someone steps into your personal space without touching you. When a room that was empty suddenly isn't. When something unseen moves behind you and your body reacts before your brain understands why. Her fingers hesitated mid-note. Her pulse spiked. She didn't open her eyes. She didn't turn around. She just knew. Someone was behind her. Her breath caught. Not because she was afraid of getting caught. Because being seen felt worse. Because this music wasn't supposed to belong to anyone else. Because she didn't want whoever stood behind her to hear the part of herself she'd spent years trying to erase. Her fingers hovered over the keys. She should stop. She should apologize. She should stand up and leave before things got worse. Instead, she kept playing. Softer now. Slower. Like she was trying to finish something before it was taken away. The melody thinned, stretched, unraveled into something almost fragile. Her hands shook slightly. Her heart pounded too loud in her ears. The room felt too big, too open, too exposed. And then, a voice. Low. Close. Behind her. Don't stop. Her hands froze. The sound died mid-chord. Silence crashed into the room like something breaking. Her heart slammed against her ribs. She didn't move. Didn't breathe. Didn't turn. The voice hadn't been angry. It hadn't been surprised. It hadn't been loud. It had been controlled. The kind of calm that didn't need volume because it never went unanswered. Her throat tightened. She started, then stopped. Apologies felt useless. Excuses felt dangerous. Every instinct screamed the same thing. Don't move. Don't speak. Don't look. She stayed seated, hands folded tightly in her lap, pulse hammering so hard she wondered if he could hear it. The lamp beside the piano cast her shadow long across the marble floor, thin and small and unimportant. Behind her, the man said nothing. The silence stretched. Not awkward. Not tense. Intentional. It felt like being measured. Judged. Decided. Finally, she whispered, I'm sorry. For touching it. For being here. For forgetting her place. The man didn't answer. Instead, she felt him move. Not quickly. Not loudly. Just closer. Her skin prickled. I haven't heard anyone play this piano in years, he said. His tone shifted slightly. Not softer. Not warmer. Heavier. Most people won't even look at it. Her chest tightened. I won't do it again, she said quickly. I promise. Another pause. Then, why were you playing? The question was simple. The answer wasn't. Because I missed it. Because silence hurts. Because I forgot who I was. Because I needed to remember. None of those were safe. I clean here, she said instead. I was passing through. Silence again. Then, you don't play like someone who just passes through. Her pulse jumped. She forced herself to breathe. I took lessons once, she said. A long time ago. How long? Long enough to forget. That's not forgetting, he said quietly. That's remembering. Her stomach dropped. The room felt smaller. She stood quickly, smoothing her uniform. If I broke a rule, I understand. I'll leave. She turned toward the exit. Wait. One word. Soft. Unavoidable. Her feet stopped without permission. She didn't turn back. Behind her, he said, Do you know who I am? Yes, she answered. Everyone did. The man who owned the building. The man whose name made bankers sweat. The man whose enemies disappeared without headlines. The man who hadn't been seen smiling in over a decade. Then you know I don't tolerate people touching things that belong to me. Her heart pounded. I know. Especially not in rooms they're not authorized to enter. I know. Silence. Then. And yet here you are. Her jaw tightened. I won't do it again, she said. I believe you. Her breath stuttered. That's it, she asked before she could stop herself. No punishment. No warning. He studied her. You look relieved. I'm not. Then why is your pulse slowing? Her breath caught. She hadn't realized it had. He took a step closer. Not threatening. Not invading. Just closer. Turn around, he said. Slowly she did. And there he was. Standing a few feet away, hands loosely clasped in front of him, dressed in a white suit so clean it looked out of place in a room built on power and fear. Dark hair. Sharp features. Calm eyes that held no apology and no chaos. But it was his neck that drew her attention first. Black ink climbed from beneath his collar, winding up his throat in intricate patterns. Tattoos that didn't soften him. Didn't harden him either. They made him look intentional. Like nothing about him was accidental. His gaze locked onto hers. Something shifted. Not curiosity. Not surprise. Recognition. Her chest tightened. She didn't know why. She just knew. He wasn't looking at her like a maid. He was looking at her like a problem. Or a puzzle. Or a door he hadn't known existed until someone opened it by mistake. You're not here by accident, he said. Her stomach dropped. What's your name? Nyla. Not her full name. Not the one that could ruin her. Just enough truth to survive. He repeated it softly. Nyla. Her name sounded heavier in his mouth. Like it carried weight she hadn't agreed to. You're not invisible, he continued. Her throat tightened. Yes, I am. No, he said calmly. You're just hiding. Her pulse roared. I should go. You already did, he replied. And you came back. That landed too close to truth. His eyes flicked to the piano. Play again. Her heart lurched. I can't. Why? Because this isn't safe. Because you're not safe. Because I don't want you to hear me. I don't want to, she said instead. He studied her for a long moment. Then nodded once. Fair. He turned toward the door. Relief rushed through her too fast. Then he stopped. Without turning back, he said quietly, Bring her to me. Her blood went cold. She stared at him. Excuse me. He finally turned. His gaze was steady. Unblinking. Not cruel. Not kind. Certain. You, he said. Tomorrow morning. My office. Her stomach dropped. I clean floors, she said carefully. Not offices. You'll clean mine. That's not my assignment. It is now. Her pulse spiked again. This time, not from fear. From something worse. Attention. Why? She asked. His eyes flicked to the piano. Then back to her. Because you broke my silence, he said. And I don't think that was an accident. Her breath caught. Before she could respond, he turned and walked out. The door closed softly behind him. The room fell silent again. But it wasn't empty anymore. Nyla stood frozen beside the piano, heart hammering, mind racing, every nerve screaming the same impossible question. What had she just stepped into? She hadn't meant to be seen. She hadn't meant to be heard. She hadn't meant to matter. But somewhere down the hall, the most powerful man in the building was no longer silent. Because of her. And whatever he'd just started. She already knew. There was no going back. Nyla woke before the bells. She always did. Not because she needed to. Not because anyone told her to. Because silence felt safer when it belonged to her. The servants' quarters were still dark when she sat up, careful not to disturb the other women sleeping in narrow rows around her. 30 beds. 30 quiet breaths. 30 lives that moved in sync with rules written by people they never saw. She swung her feet onto the cold floor and waited a moment before standing. Listened. Counted footsteps in her head the way some people counted sheep. One guard shift change. One distant elevator hum. One door somewhere far down the east wing. Everything normal. Which meant everything was dangerous. She dressed in the dark. Uniform first. Then hair. Then the small rituals that helped her disappear. Shoulders slightly forward. Eyes lowered. Steps light. Voice soft. Presence minimized. Invisibility wasn't just survival here. It was currency. By the time the hallway lights flickered on, Nyla was already moving. Laundry carts rolled past her. Housekeepers whispered in corners. Kitchen staff hurried with trays and lists and eyes that refused to linger anywhere dangerous. Nobody spoke louder than necessary. Nobody asked unnecessary questions. Nobody stayed too long in rooms that didn't belong to them. And nobody, under any circumstances, went near the West Ballroom. Especially not at night. Nyla passed the corridor where it sat sealed behind double doors and didn't look at it. She never did. That room didn't exist during the day. Only the piano did. And even that only lived in her memory. She pushed her cleaning cart into the north wing and began her morning routine. Wipe. Fold. Disinfect. Reset. Every surface returned to its perfect, untouched state. Every room restored to a condition that suggested nobody lived there at all.
No fingerprints. No traces.
No proof that humans moved through spaces owned by power. That was the job. Erase yourself. She cleaned quietly, efficiently, without pause. She never took the long breaks some of the other staff risked. Never lingered near windows. Never used her phone in open areas. Never looked toward the upper floors. She had learned fast. The mansion ran on silence and consequence. There were rules posted in staff areas, printed neatly on laminated cards, but everyone knew the real rules weren't written down. They were felt. Don't look where you're not supposed to. Don't listen to what doesn't involve you. Don't touch what doesn't belong to you. Don't be memorable. And, above all, don't attract attention. Nyla excelled at that. She moved through hallways like background noise. Like air. Like something that existed only when needed and vanished immediately afterward. Even other staff barely registered her presence. She was polite, efficient, quiet, replaceable, exactly how she wanted it. Except, sometimes, very rarely, when the corridors were empty and the windows reflected her face instead of someone else's expectations, she caught glimpses of who she used to be. The woman who spoke confidently. The woman who made eye contact. The woman who walked into rooms expecting to be heard. That woman felt like someone else now. A stranger. A liability. She reached the third-floor suites and began resetting the bedrooms. Sheets straightened. Pillows aligned. Curtains adjusted to precise angles of light. The rooms belonged to executives and guests and men who moved money through channels that didn't exist. People whose names never appeared in articles, but whose influence could reshape cities. She never knew who slept in which room. She never wanted to. Her job was to erase evidence, not collect information. Still, some rooms felt heavier than others. Rooms where the air pressed down like something invisible had soaked into the walls. Rooms where she cleaned faster without knowing why. Rooms where her chest tightened and her breathing shifted, and she told herself it was nothing. She didn't think about what happened behind closed doors here. She thought about her hands, the way they moved, the way they remembered things her mind tried to forget. Sometimes, when she wiped mirrors, her fingers traced patterns unconsciously in the fog left behind by disinfectant.
Arcs. Lines. Curves.
Muscle memory. She always erased them quickly. Nobody noticed. But she noticed. And that was worse. By mid-morning, the mansion buzzed softly with activity. The staff hierarchy flowed through invisible channels. Supervisors whispered orders. Guards rotated positions. The kitchen moved like a well-trained organism. Security monitors flickered with feeds from hallways nobody was supposed to enter without clearance. And somewhere above all of it, he existed. Nobody said his name unless necessary. Not because it was forbidden. Because it wasn't safe. People referred to him in fragments. The boss. Him. The owner. The man upstairs. The building itself felt designed around his absence. Certain elevators skipped certain floors. Certain corridors ended in locked doors with no signage. Certain wings were permanently off-limits. Entire floors were accessible only by fingerprint scan and private code. Nobody questioned it.
Nobody wanted to.
Rumors filled the silence instead. That he hadn't smiled in over a decade. That he didn't forgive mistakes. That he once fired a man for breathing too loudly in his presence. That he'd had 3 people removed from the building last year, and none of them were ever seen again. No one knew which stories were true. They didn't need to be. Fear worked just as well without facts. Nyla heard all of it. She listened without reacting. She never asked questions. She never speculated. She never joined the whispers. That wasn't caution. That was survival. She'd learned long ago that attention wasn't always loud. Sometimes it was quiet. Sometimes it came in the form of someone remembering your name.
She avoided that.
Her name was Nyla. Just Nyla. Not the name that once opened doors. Not the name that once appeared in conference programs and research journals and invitations that came embossed with prestige. That name no longer existed. That woman no longer existed. Because brilliance had consequences. Because talent drew attention. Because recognition didn't protect you when the wrong people noticed. So she'd erased herself instead. She worked here because invisibility was enforced. Because the mansion ran on rigid hierarchies and narrow roles and unspoken expectations that nobody crossed. Because people like her were supposed to be background. Because no one here cared about who she'd been. Only what she cleaned. She preferred it that way. Mostly. Still, some nights, when exhaustion finally broke through fear, she dreamed of music. Not concerts. Not applause. Just fingers on keys. Just sound filling space. Just breath and rhythm and something inside her that didn't feel like loss. She never dreamed of faces. Just sound. She wiped the last countertop in the third-floor suite and moved toward the supply closet when a whisper caught her attention. "Did you hear?" Her shoulders stiffened slightly. She didn't turn. Two housekeepers stood near the linen station down the hall. Their voices were low but urgent. "About last night." "What about it?" "The West Ballroom." Her pulse spiked. Not outwardly. Internally. She slowed her steps but didn't stop. Someone was in there. Her grip tightened on the cleaning cart. "That's impossible." "That's what I thought." But the night guard swore he heard piano music. Nyla's breath caught. Just slightly. She forced it steady. "That piano hasn't been touched in years." "I know." "Then what did he hear?" "I don't know."
But security did a sweep.
Full lockdown. Her stomach dropped. "Did they find anything?"
No.
"That's what's weird." Nyla turned the corner. Her hands shook. Just a little. She pressed them flat against her thighs until the tremor stopped. Full lockdown meant cameras reviewed. Entry logs checked. Guard rotations interrogated. That wing sealed until clearance was confirmed. It meant attention. She finished her supply run mechanically.
Bleach.
Cloths. Gloves. Her mind raced faster than her body. Every possible outcome collided in her thoughts. Termination. Blacklisting. Detainment.
Worse.
She replayed the moment in her head. The music. The voice. The command. "Bring her to me." Her stomach tightened. She hadn't slept. Not really. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw his face.
Calm.
Controlled. Unmoved. The tattoos climbing his neck like something permanent that refused to be hidden. Not angry. Not threatening. Just deliberate. That was worse.
Anga burned fast.
Calm endured. She returned to her floor and worked faster. Avoided eye contact. Kept her head down. Every sound made her flinch. Every footstep behind her felt heavier than it should have. Every radio chirp from security made her chest tighten. Nobody spoke to her. Nobody confronted her. Nobody acknowledged anything unusual, which somehow made it worse. By noon, tension rippled through the staff. No one said why. They didn't have to. Supervisors whispered more than usual. Guards lingered in corridors where they normally didn't. 2 elevators were taken offline. The West Wing remained sealed. Everyone felt it. Something had shifted. Nyla moved through her tasks like a ghost. She cleaned. She sanitized. She reset. But her mind kept circling the same impossible question. Why hadn't he punished her? He turned toward the door. Relief rushed through her too fast. Then he stopped. Without turning back, he said quietly, "Bring her to me." Her blood went cold. She stared at him. "Excuse me." He finally turned. His gaze was steady, unblinking, not cruel, not kind. "Certain. You," he said. "Tomorrow morning. My office." Her stomach dropped. "I clean floors," she said carefully. "Not offices. You'll clean mine." "That's not my assignment." "It is now." Her pulse spiked again. This time, not from fear. From something worse. Attention. "Why?" she asked. His eyes flicked to the piano. Then back to her. "Because you broke my silence," he said. "And I don't think that was an accident." Her breath caught. Before she could respond, he turned and walked out. The door closed softly behind him. The room fell silent again. But it wasn't empty anymore. Nyla stood frozen beside the piano, heart hammering, mind racing, every nerve screaming the same impossible question. What had she just stepped into? She hadn't meant to be seen. She hadn't meant to be heard. She hadn't meant to matter. But somewhere down the hall, the most powerful man in the building was no longer silent. Because of her. And whatever he'd just started. She already knew. There was no going back. They walked ahead of her, not behind. that somehow felt worse. They didn't restrain her, didn't rush her, didn't threaten her. They simply led. Through hallways she'd never been allowed to enter. Past security checkpoints she'd only seen from a distance. Up elevators that didn't stop on public floors. Her breath came faster the higher they went. The architecture changed. Carpet gave way to stone. Fluorescent lighting softened into ambient glow. Walls widened. Ceilings rose. The mansion transformed from workplace to fortress. She felt smaller with every step. They passed doors that required biometric scans. Corridors with no signage. Rooms that smelled faintly of leather and glass, and something metallic underneath. Money. Power.
Control.
She kept her eyes down. Counted steps. Focused on breathing. Her heart felt like it was trying to escape her chest. Finally, they stopped in front of a massive double door at the end of a quiet corridor. No sign. No label. No window. Just dark wood and metal trim, and 2 armed guards standing on either side. One of the men who'd escorted her knocked once. The door opened silently. The room beyond was enormous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. The skyline stretched endlessly, sharp and glittering, like something expensive and dangerous at the same time. The office itself was minimalist. Clean lines. Dark furniture.
No clutter.
No personal items.
No distractions.
Everything about it said control. At the center of the room stood a massive desk. And behind it, he waited. The man from the ballroom. White suit. Calm eyes. Neck tattoos visible above his collar. Hands resting loosely on the edge of the desk like he'd been expecting her. Because he had. The guard stepped aside. Go in, one said quietly. Her legs felt heavy. She crossed the threshold. The door closed behind her. The sound echoed louder than it should have. She stood there, small,
silent, exposed.
He didn't speak. He didn't move. He just watched her. Her pulse hammered. Her mouth went dry. She clasped her hands in front of her to hide the tremor. I didn't mean to, she started. Stop. One word. Not harsh. Not loud. Final.
She stopped.
He walked around the desk slowly. Not rushed. Not threatening. Just deliberate. Each step echoed softly against the floor. Her breathing quickened. He stopped a few feet away. Close enough that she could smell his cologne.
Clean.
Subtle. Expensive. Something beneath it that didn't have a name, but felt sharp and controlled and dangerous. He studied her face. Not her uniform. Not her posture. Her eyes. Like he was looking for something. You're shaking, he said. I'm fine, she lied. No, he replied calmly. You're terrified. Her throat tightened. He tilted his head slightly. Why? Because you're dangerous. Because you shouldn't have noticed me. Because I broke a rule and lived. Because I don't know what you want. I don't know why I'm here, she said instead. That's true, he replied. But it's not the reason you're scared. Her pulse spiked. He took a step closer. Tell me something, Nyla. Her breath hitched at the sound of her name in his voice. How long have you been hiding? Her stomach dropped. I'm not. Don't. One word. Again. Controlled. Her mouth closed. Her heart raced. He watched her for a long moment. Then, you're not here by accident. The words landed heavy. Her breath caught. He continued. And neither was last night. Her pulse roared in her ears. I don't know what you think. I think, he said calmly, that people who pass through don't play like that. Her throat tightened. I think, he continued, that people who take lessons once don't lose something like that by accident. Her chest burned. And I think, he finished, that you didn't end up here because you were unlucky. Silence stretched between them. Her hands shook. I clean rooms, she said quietly. That's all. He studied her.
No, he said.
That's what you do. Then he leaned slightly closer. But it's not who you are. Her breath caught. She didn't respond.
Couldn't. Didn't know how.
He straightened.
Seat.
Her eyes widened. Excuse me? Sit. He repeated, nodding toward the chair across from his desk. Her stomach dropped. I'm not supposed to. I said sit. She obeyed. Her legs felt weak as she lowered herself into the chair. He returned to his side of the desk but didn't sit. Just stood there, hands braced on the surface, gaze locked onto hers. Last night, he said, you did something no one's done in this building in years. Her heart pounded. You broke my silence. She swallowed. I'm sorry. That's not what I said. Her breath caught. I said you broke my silence, he repeated. Not my rule. Her pulse spiked. There's a difference. She stared at him. Didn't understand. I didn't bring you here to punish you, he continued. Her heart raced faster. Then why am I here? She asked. His eyes darkened slightly. Not with anger. With something closer to interest. Because I don't believe in coincidences, he said. And because whatever you were running from followed you here. Her breath caught. That's not true. Then prove it. Her chest tightened. I can't. That's what people say when they don't want to, he replied calmly. Silence stretched. He studied her like a chessboard. Then, tell me your real name. Her heart slammed. I already did.
No, he said.
You told me the one you use. Her stomach dropped. I don't have another. Everyone has another, he replied. Especially people who hide. Her breathing quickened. I'm not hiding. His gaze sharpened. Then why were you playing alone in a locked room in the middle of the night? Her throat tightened. Why were your hands shaking when you stopped? She swallowed. And why, he continued, did you look relieved when I told you to sit? Her pulse roared. She said nothing. He straightened slowly. Here's what's going to happen, he said calmly. You're going to stop pretending you're invisible. Her breath caught. And I'm going to find out why you want to be. Her heart pounded. I don't understand.
That's fine, he said.
You don't need to. Then, yet. Silence. He moved back behind the desk and finally sat. Starting today, he continued, you work for me. Her eyes widened. I already do, she said carefully. I clean. No, he interrupted. You report to me. Her pulse spiked. That's not my assignment. It is now. Her stomach dropped. I didn't agree to that. He looked at her calmly. You didn't agree to play my piano either. Her breath caught. He leaned back slightly. Still, he continued, you did. She stared at him. I don't understand what you want from me. That's also fine, he replied. You don't need to. Then why? Because, he said quietly, you don't belong where you are. Her chest tightened. And I don't waste things that don't belong. Her pulse roared. I'm not a thing. No, he said. You're a liability. Her breath caught. But potentially, he added, a useful one. She stared at him. Anger flared. I didn't do anything wrong. I know. Then why? Because, he said calmly, people who hide like you usually do it for one of two reasons. Her heart pounded. They're either afraid. He paused. Or they're dangerous. Silence slammed into the room. Her breath hitched. I'm neither, she said. His lips curved slightly. Not a smile. More like interest. That's what I intend to find out. Her pulse spiked. I just want to do my job. You will. But your job is about to change. She swallowed. To what? His eyes locked onto hers. Starting tomorrow, he said quietly, you'll work directly for me. Her chest tightened. In what capacity? Observation. Her stomach dropped. You want to watch me clean? No, he said calmly. I want to watch you lie. Her breath caught. Silence stretched. He leaned forward. Because whatever you were before this building, his eyes darkened, is still in you. Her heart hammered. And I don't like mysteries. She said nothing.
Couldn't. Didn't know how. He stood.
Walked toward the window. Looked out at the city. Go back to your duties, he said. For now. Her pulse raced. That's it. For today. What about? Tomorrow, he interrupted. You report here at 8. Her stomach dropped. I don't have clearance. You do now. Her breath caught. I don't understand what's happening. He turned back toward her. That's because, he said calmly, you're still pretending this is about last night. Her heart pounded. It's not. She stared at him. Then what is it about? He held her gaze. Who you were before you learned to disappear. Her breath caught. Silence. He stepped aside. You're dismissed. Her legs felt weak as she stood. She turned toward the door. Her hand hovered over the handle. Behind her, his voice stopped her. Nyla. Her pulse spiked. Yes, you're not here by accident. Her chest tightened. And neither am I. The door opened. She stepped out into the hallway. The guards were waiting. But they didn't move. Didn't escort her. Didn't speak. They simply watched her walk away. Her heart hammered. Her mind raced. Her hands shook. She returned to the service elevator and rode down alone. Her reflection stared back at her from the mirrored walls. She didn't recognize herself. Not the uniform. Not the posture. Not the eyes. Something had shifted. Something irreversible. Because for the first time in years, someone had seen her. Not the maid. Not the background. Not the role. Her. And he hadn't looked away. As the elevator doors opened onto the service floor, one thought echoed louder than the rest. Whatever he wanted, she already knew. It wasn't safe. You're not here by accident. The words followed Nyla out of the office. They followed her through the elevator ride, through the corridors, through the service floors, through the narrow hallways of the staff wing where voices echoed too loudly and footsteps felt too exposed. She tried to shake them. Failed. Because he hadn't said it like a threat. He hadn't said it like a warning. He'd said it like a fact. Which was worse. That night, she barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the office again. The windows. The skyline. The way his voice stayed calm even when her pulse felt like it was trying to escape her chest. Most men with power needed to remind you they had it. He didn't. He'd barely raised his voice. Barely moved. Barely reacted. And yet she'd left his office feeling smaller than she ever had. Not because he diminished her. Because he saw her. Which meant she was no longer invisible. And invisibility had been the only thing keeping her safe. Morning came too fast. She dressed in silence, her hands trembling slightly as she buttoned her uniform. Her reflection in the cracked mirror looked the same. Same brown eyes. Same tired face. Same carefully neutral expression. But something behind it had shifted, like a door that had been opened without her consent. She moved through the mansion on autopilot. Clean. Reset. Repeat. Except now, every hallway felt narrower. Every camera felt closer. Every guard glance felt heavier. She expected at any moment to be pulled aside, to be questioned, to be escorted somewhere she couldn't leave. Instead, nothing happened, which felt intentional. By mid-morning, she was halfway through the East Wing when a supervisor approached her. Nyla. Her pulse spiked. Yes. Change of assignment. Her stomach dropped. You're reassigned to the private floors. Her breath caught. I don't have clearance. You do now. Her heart pounded. For how long? Indefinitely. Her mouth went dry. Why? The supervisor hesitated, then quietly said, Orders from upstairs. Her pulse roared. Upstairs. Not management. Not HR. Not logistics. Him. Her hands shook. She nodded. Okay. She didn't argue. Didn't ask questions. Didn't protest. She'd learned long ago that resistance didn't protect you. Compliance did. She gathered her supplies and followed the supervisor through corridors she'd never been allowed to enter before. Past biometric doors. Past guards who barely glanced at her. Past spaces that smelled like money and glass and quiet control. Her heart hammered the entire way. They stopped outside a private corridor. From now on, the supervisor said quietly, You're responsible for these quarters. Nyla swallowed. What quarters? She gestured toward the hallway. The boss's. Her stomach dropped. Excuse me? You heard me. Her pulse spiked. I'm not trained for that. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. You clean, the supervisor said. That's the job. That's not what I mean. The supervisor studied her for a moment, then softened slightly. Just do what you always do, she said. Head down. No questions.
No conversation. No mistakes.
Nyla nodded, but her heart didn't slow. The supervisor left. She stood there alone in the corridor. Her breath came faster. This wasn't a promotion. This wasn't a reward. This wasn't even punishment. This was proximity. And proximity to him felt more dangerous than distance ever had. She took a slow breath. Then another. Then unlocked the first door. The private quarters were quiet. Not sterile. Not cold. Just controlled. Minimalist furniture. Clean lines.
Dark wood.
Soft lighting.
No clutter.
No personal photos.
No distractions.
Everything placed deliberately. Nothing accidental. The air smelled faintly of leather and something sharp beneath it. His presence lingered in the space even when he wasn't there, which somehow made it worse. She moved slowly, wiping surfaces, resetting cushions, straightening books she wasn't sure he'd ever touched. Her pulse stayed elevated. Every sound made her flinch. She kept expecting his voice behind her. Didn't turn around. Didn't relax. She finished the living area and moved into the adjoining office. The massive desk faced the windows. The skyline glowed faintly through tinted glass. The chairs sat perfectly aligned. Nothing out of place. She cleaned around the desk, careful not to touch anything unnecessary. Then she noticed something new. A sheet of music on the corner of the desk. Her breath caught.
She stared at it. Didn't move. Didn't touch it.
Just stared. The notes were handwritten. Not sloppy. Not rushed.
Precise.
Controlled.
Familiar.
Her chest tightened. She forced herself to look away. Finished cleaning the rest of the office. Then exited the room like nothing had happened. But her hands shook. She didn't see him that day. Or the next. Or the day after. But she felt him. In the silence. In the way guards lingered when she passed. In the way supervisors suddenly knew her name. In the way her access badge now opened doors it hadn't before. Something was shifting around her. And she had no control over it. 3 days later, she was wiping down the glass table in his private lounge when his voice cut through the silence. You missed a spot. Her breath caught. She froze. Slowly she turned.
He stood near the doorway.
White suit. Neck tattoos visible. Hands in his pockets. Watching her. Her heart slammed against her ribs. I'm sorry, she said quickly. Don't. One word. Controlled.
She stopped.
He walked closer. Not rushed. Not threatening. Just deliberate. He stopped beside the table and pointed to a faint smudge near the edge. There. She swallowed. Reached for the cloth.
Cleaned it.
Stepped back. He didn't move.
Didn't speak.
Just watched. The silence stretched. Her pulse roared in her ears. You're faster than the others, he said finally. She blinked. I've been doing this a while. No, he replied. You're efficient. There's a difference. Her chest tightened. She said nothing. He leaned lightly against the table. How long have you been playing? Her breath caught. I don't play. Yes, he said calmly. You do. Her stomach dropped. I don't. You don't professionally, he corrected. But you play. She swallowed. I touched the piano once. No, he said. You didn't touch it. You played it. Her heart pounded. I don't know what you mean. I know, he replied. That's why you're lying. Her breath hitched. He studied her face. Not aggressively. Not impatiently. Just attentively. Why did you stop when you saw me? He asked. Her chest tightened. I didn't want to get in trouble. That's not why. Her pulse spiked. Yes, it is.
No, he said.
You stopped because you thought I was going to take it from you. Her breath caught. I didn't. You did. Silence stretched. She said nothing. He straightened slightly.
Seat.
Her stomach dropped. I'm working. I know. I can't.
Seat.
Not loud. Not threatening. Final. She obeyed. Lowered herself onto the couch. hands folded in her lap, eyes down. He remained standing. You learned that piece somewhere, he said. Where? I didn't. You didn't what? I didn't learn it, she replied carefully. I just knew it. He watched her closely. That's not how music works. Her pulse spiked. That's how memory works. Her breath caught. She hadn't meant to say that. Her eyes lifted to his. He was watching her differently now. Not with suspicion. With interest. You didn't deny knowing it, he said quietly. Her chest tightened. I told you I don't play. No, he said. You told me you didn't learn. Her heart pounded. Silence stretched. Then, tell me something else, he said calmly. She braced herself. What? How many cameras are in this building? Her breath caught. I don't know. Guess. I can't. Try. Her pulse spiked. I don't work security. I know, but you notice patterns. Her chest tightened. I don't. Yes, he said. You do. Silence. Her hands clenched. 37, she said quietly. His eyes sharpened. Wrong. Her breath hitched. 39, she corrected immediately. 2 are hidden behind decorative molding. Silence slammed into the room. He stared at her. Not shocked. Not impressed. Just confirmed. How do you know that? He asked. I don't. You just answered. I guessed. No, he said. You calculated. Her heart pounded. I clean here. Yes, he replied. And you map. Her breath caught. I don't. You do, he said calmly. You just don't admit it. Silence stretched. Then, how many exits on this floor? He asked. I don't know. Guess. 4. Wrong. 5, she corrected. 1 disguised as storage. His gaze sharpened. Fire stairwell, he said. Not storage. Her stomach dropped. You meant exactly what you said. Her pulse roared. Silence thickened. Then, what's the fastest route from this room to the West Wing without using elevators? He asked. Her chest tightened. I don't know. Try. Her mind moved before she could stop it. Service corridor behind the wine cellar, she said quietly. Left at the utility junction. Up the maintenance stairs. Out through the archival hallway. 2 minutes 40 seconds at average walking speed. Silence. Heavy. His eyes darkened. Not with anger. With certainty. You're not guessing, he said. Her throat tightened. I clean. No, he replied. You observe. Her breath caught. Silence stretched. He moved closer. Not too close. Just close enough that she felt the shift in the air. You're trained, he said quietly. Her pulse spiked. I'm not. Yes, he said. You are. I've never been. You don't move like untrained people, he interrupted. You don't think like them. You don't react like them. And you definitely don't play like them. Her chest burned. I told you I don't. Stop lying, he said calmly. The words hit harder than shouting ever could. Her breath caught. Silence. Then, why are you here? He asked. Her throat tightened. Because I need a job. That's not why. Yes, it is. No, he said. That's why you stayed. Not why you came. Her heart pounded. Silence stretched. I don't know what you want from me, she said quietly. I want the truth. Her pulse spiked. I gave you the truth. No, he replied. You gave me what you wanted me to hear. Silence. Then, tell me your real name. Her breath caught. I already. No, he interrupted. You told me the one on your badge. Her chest tightened. I don't have another. Yes, he said calmly. You do. I don't. Then why did your breathing change when I asked? Her pulse roared. Silence stretched. He studied her face. Relax, he said quietly. I'm not trying to hurt you. Her chest tightened. That's not reassuring. No, he replied. It's honest. Silence. Then, tell me something else, he said. Her heart pounded. What? What's the fastest way to collapse a communications network without triggering alarms? Her breath caught. I don't know. Guess. I can't. Try. Her pulse spiked. That's illegal. So is lying to me. Her chest tightened. Silence stretched. Then, you'd isolate traffic through a benign update, she said quietly. Redirect load to redundant nodes until latency forces a shutdown cascade. No alarms because nothing technically fails. His gaze sharpened instantly. Where did you learn that? I didn't. You just explained it. I guessed.
No, he said.
You designed it. Her heart slammed. I clean rooms. Yes, he replied. And you think like an engineer. Her breath caught. Silence.
Heavy.
He studied her. Then, you're not a maid, he said quietly. Her chest tightened. And you're not as invisible as you think. The words landed harder than anything else he'd said. Her breath hitched. She said nothing.
Couldn't.
Didn't know how. He leaned back slightly. Tell me why you hide. Her pulse spiked. I don't. You do.
No.
Yes, he said calmly. You erased yourself. Her throat tightened. I didn't. You did, he replied. And people don't do that unless something made being seen dangerous. Silence. Her hands shook. She clasped them together. Answer me, he said quietly.
Why?
Her chest burned. I don't want trouble. That's not why. Yes, it is. No, he said. It's what you tell yourself. Silence stretched. Then, do you know what I do? He asked suddenly. Her breath caught. You run this place. That's not what I do. Her pulse spiked. You own it. No, he replied. I control it. Her chest tightened. Silence. I manage chaos, he continued. I predict risk. I eliminate instability before it becomes visible. Her heart pounded. And people, he said quietly, who erase themselves like you do usually do it because instability found them first. Her breath caught. Silence. Then, you're not safe here, he said calmly. Her chest tightened. I am. No, he replied. You're hidden. That's the same thing. No, he said. Hidden things get found. Her pulse spiked. Silence. He stepped closer. Which means someone was looking for you. Her stomach dropped. No one is. Yes, he said. They are. Her heart hammered. You don't know that. I do, he replied. Because people like you don't disappear unless they're running. Her breath caught. I'm not running. Yes, he said. You are. Silence slammed into the room. Then, you're shaking, he said. I've seen it. No, he replied. You're afraid. Her chest tightened. I'm not. Yes, he said. You are. Silence. He straightened. Here's what's going to happen, he said calmly. You're going to stop cleaning. Her pulse spiked. I can't. You will. That's not my job. No, he replied. That's what you've been pretending your job is. Her breath caught. Then what is it? You're going to work for me. Her stomach dropped. In what capacity? Observation. Her chest tightened. Of what? Of everything. Her pulse spiked. I didn't agree to that. You didn't agree to play my piano either. Her breath caught. Still, he continued, you did. Silence stretched. I don't want to work for you, she said quietly. I know. Then why? Because, he said calmly, you don't belong where you are. Her chest tightened. And I don't waste things that don't belong. I'm not a thing. No, he said. You're a risk. Her breath caught. But potentially, he added, a useful one. Silence. I don't want trouble, she said. Then stop hiding. Her pulse spiked. That's not an option. Yes, he replied. It is. No, she said. It's not. Why? She swallowed. Because people who get noticed get hurt. His eyes darkened slightly. Who hurt you? Her breath caught. Silence. He watched her. Not aggressively. Not impatiently. Just waiting. I didn't say they did, she replied. No, he said. But your body did. Her chest tightened. Silence. Then, you're going to sit in on my operations meetings, he said suddenly. Her pulse spiked. I'm not qualified. No, he replied. You're overqualified. Her stomach dropped. I don't have clearance. You do now. I don't want this. I know. Then why? Because, he said calmly, I need someone who sees what others don't. Her chest tightened. And you already do. Silence. I didn't agree. You didn't refuse either. Her breath caught. Silence. Then, tomorrow, he said, you'll sit in on my internal audit briefing. Her pulse spiked. I can't. You will. That's not my role. No, he replied. That's the point. Her heart hammered. I'm not qualified. You mapped my building, he said. Calculated my security blind spots. Diagnosed my network vulnerabilities. And played a piano piece you shouldn't have known. Her breath caught. You're more qualified than most of the people I pay. Silence. Her hands shook. I just want to clean, she said quietly. No, he replied. You want to disappear. Her chest tightened. That's different. No, he said. It's not. Silence. Then, I ran your background, he said. Her breath caught. Her pulse spiked. Her stomach dropped. What? She whispered. He watched her carefully. You heard me. Her chest tightened. You can't have. I did. Her heart hammered. I don't exist, she said. That's what you thought. Her breath caught. Silence. What did you find? She asked quietly. Not much, he replied. Which is interesting. Her pulse roared. Because people don't erase themselves that cleanly unless they know how. Her chest tightened. Or unless someone helped them. Her breath caught. Silence slammed into the room. Her hands shook. I didn't do anything illegal, she said quickly. I didn't say you did. Then why? I said I ran your background, he replied calmly. Not that I found a crime. Her heart pounded. Then what did you find? He studied her face. Enough, he said quietly, to know you're lying about who you are. Her chest tightened. And enough, he continued, to know someone wanted you gone. Her breath caught. No one does. Yes, he said. They do. Her pulse spiked. You don't know that. Silence. Because, he continued, people don't erase academic records, professional licenses, and entire employment histories unless they're hiding from something. Her breath hitched. Silence stretched. What did you do? He asked quietly. Her chest tightened. Nothing. No, he said. What did you stop someone else from doing? Her heart slammed. I don't know what you mean. Yes, he replied. You do. Silence. Her breathing quickened. I just clean rooms, she said. No, he replied. You dismantle systems. Her breath caught. And you're afraid of what happens when people realize it. Silence. He leaned back slightly. You're not a maid, he repeated. And you're not invisible. Her chest tightened. And you're running out of places to hide. Her pulse roared. I didn't ask for this, she whispered. I know. Then why are you doing this? Because, he said quietly, someone's already looking for you. Her breath caught. Silence. And because, he continued, if they find you before I understand you. His eyes darkened. That's not a risk I'm willing to take. Her heart hammered. What does that mean? It means, he said calmly, you're safer here than you think. Her chest tightened. I don't feel safe. No, he replied. You feel seen. Her breath caught. That's worse. For you, he said. Right now. Silence. Then, you're not leaving this job, he said quietly. Her pulse spiked. I didn't say I was. You're not disappearing, he continued. You're not transferring. You're not resigning. Her heart pounded. I didn't say I would. I know, he replied. I'm saying you won't. Silence. Because, he continued, whether you like it or not, you work for me now. Her chest tightened. In what way? In every way that matters. Her breath caught. Silence. I don't trust you, she said quietly. That's fine, he replied. I don't need you to. Then why? I need you to stay alive. Her heart slammed. What? He watched her carefully. You're not hiding from nothing, he said calmly. And I don't ignore unknown threats. Her chest tightened. You think someone's after me? I know someone was. Her breath caught.
Who?
He shook his head. Not yet. Her pulse spiked. Then how do you? Because, he said quietly, someone tried to erase you. Her stomach dropped. And people don't do that unless they're afraid of what you know. Her chest tightened. I don't know anything. Yes, he replied. You do. Silence. He stepped back.
Go, he said.
Her pulse spiked. Go. Back to your quarters. Her chest tightened. Then what? Tomorrow, he said, you stop cleaning. Her breath caught. And start working. Silence. She stood slowly. Her legs felt weak. She turned toward the door. Her hand hovered over the handle. Behind her, his voice stopped her. Nyla. Her pulse spiked. Yes. You're not here by accident.
Her chest tightened.
And neither was that piano. Her breath caught. The door opened. She stepped into the hallway. Her heart hammered. Her mind raced. Her hands shook. She didn't know what he wanted. Didn't know how much he knew. Didn't know whether she was safer or more exposed than she'd ever been. But one thing was clear. Hiding was no longer an option. She realized hiding was no longer an option the moment he called her by her real name. Not Nyla. The other one. The one she hadn't heard out loud in years. Aris. The sound of it hit her like a physical blow. Her breath caught. Her hands froze mid-motion. She was standing in his office again. Sunlight slanting through the floor-to-ceiling windows, the skyline sharp and distant beyond the glass. She'd been summoned without explanation, not because of fear this time, because of inevitability. She turned slowly. What did you call me? She asked. He stood near the desk, white suit immaculate, posture relaxed in a way that felt intentional. His expression wasn't sharp, not predatory, just calm. Aris Kim, he said. Her chest tightened. That's not my name. Yes, he replied. It is. Her pulse roared in her ears. I don't know who that is. No, he said quietly. You don't want me to. Her breath hitched. Silence stretched between them. The kind that didn't demand answers. The kind that waited for truth. I told you, she said carefully. I don't have another name. Yes, he replied. You do. Her hands shook. She clasped them behind her back to hide it. How did you find that? She whispered. He studied her face. I didn't, he said. You did. Her stomach dropped. I didn't tell you anything. No, he replied. But your absence did. Silence. You vanished 5 years ago, he continued. No forwarding address. No employment trail. No academic footprint. No financial activity. Not even a digital echo. Her pulse spiked. People don't disappear like that unless they know how. Her chest tightened. And people who know how, he continued, usually learned because they had to. Her breath caught. I told you, she said quietly. I just clean rooms. No, he replied. You dismantle systems. Her chest burned. And you used to dismantle them professionally. Silence slammed into the room. She didn't deny it. Didn't correct him. Didn't lie. Her shoulders sagged slightly. How much do you know? She asked. He watched her carefully. Enough. Her stomach dropped. Enough of what? That you were 22 when you graduated top of your class in applied systems analytics, he said. That you were recruited immediately into a financial risk mitigation unit tied to international regulatory agencies. Her pulse roared. That you specialized in identifying internal collapse points in complex financial infrastructures. Her breath hitched. And that you had a second life. Her chest tightened. Piano, he said. Classical. Conservatory trained. Her hands trembled. You are good, he added quietly. Not talented. Not gifted. His eyes locked onto hers. Elite. Her throat tightened. And then, he continued, you disappeared. Silence. Her breathing grew shallow. What happened? He asked. Her mouth opened. Closed. I made a mistake, she said. No, he replied. You made an enemy. Her breath caught. Silence stretched. I didn't do anything wrong, she whispered. I know, he said. Her eyes snapped to his. You do? Yes, he replied calmly. Because the charges that destroyed your career were fabricated. Her pulse slammed. What? She whispered. Internal leak, he said. Planted data. False audit trails. Manufactured financial irregularities that pointed straight at you. Her stomach dropped. I was cleared, she said quietly. Legally, he replied. But not reputationally. Her breath caught. And reputations don't recover when powerful people want you erased. Silence. Her hands shook. How do you know all this? She asked. He watched her carefully. Because someone tried the same thing in my organization last year. Her chest tightened. And I learned how it works. Her breath hitched. They didn't want me jailed, she whispered. No, he replied. They wanted you invisible. Her eyes burned. Silence stretched. You didn't fight it, he said. I couldn't. Yes, he replied. You could. Her chest tightened. They controlled the narrative. No, he said. You let them. Her jaw clenched. I didn't have a choice. You always have a choice, he replied. You just chose survival. Her breath hitched. Silence. I didn't want power, she whispered. I just wanted quiet. He studied her. And you found it. For a while. Yes, he said. Until you walked into my building. Her breath caught. Silence. I didn't mean to, she said. No, he replied. But you did. Her chest tightened. And now, he continued, you're standing in front of someone who doesn't believe in coincidence. Her pulse spiked. What do you want from me? She asked. Truth. She exhaled slowly.
Fine.
She met his eyes. My name is Aris Kim. His gaze sharpened slightly. I used to be a systems analyst, she continued. And before that, a pianist. Silence. I worked in regulatory compliance. High level, he corrected. Yes, she admitted. High level. And the scandal, he asked, was manufactured. By who? I don't know. Do you know why? Yes. Silence. Why? Because I flagged something I wasn't supposed to see. His eyes darkened. What? A shadow transaction loop, she said quietly. Billions moving through nested accounts tied to offshore clearinghouses that didn't legally exist. Silence slammed into the room. And, he asked. And the next week, my access was revoked, she continued. My files disappeared. My credentials were suspended. And then the leaks started. Her breath hitched. Suddenly, I was the one being investigated. Silence. And the piano, he asked. Her eyes dropped. I quit, she said quietly, after the hearing. Why? Because music stopped feeling safe. Silence. Everything that made me visible stopped feeling safe. His gaze softened slightly. You disappeared, he said. Yes. On purpose. Yes. Silence. And now, he continued, you clean rooms in a building run by people who dismantle systems for a living. Her breath caught. Yes. That's not irony, he said. That's instinct. Her chest tightened. Silence. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. You didn't ask the right way. I asked. No, she replied. You demanded. Silence. And people who've been erased, she continued, don't respond to demands. His eyes sharpened. Then what do they respond to? She met his gaze. Safety. Silence. He studied her. Then, do you feel safe here? He asked. Her chest tightened.
No.
Why not? Because you see me. Silence. That's not danger, he said quietly. That's exposure. That's the same thing, she replied.
No, he said.
It's the opposite.
Silence. Sit, he said.
She hesitated, then obeyed. Lowered herself into the chair across from his desk. Hands folded, eyes down. Here's what's going to happen, he said calmly. You're going to help me.
Her pulse spiked.
With what? My organization, he replied, has a problem. Her chest tightened. What kind? The expensive kind. Silence. Financial inconsistencies, he continued. Asset misallocation. System leaks. Internal siphoning. Her breath caught. You think someone's stealing from you? I know they are. Her chest tightened. And you think I can help? I know you can. Her pulse spiked. I don't want to be involved in. You already are. Her breath caught.
How?
You work here, he said. And my problems have a habit of becoming everyone's problems. Silence. I don't do illegal work, she said. I know. Then why? Because, he replied, I want to stop someone inside my organization from destroying it. Her chest tightened. And you want me to do what? Find them. Her breath caught. I don't have access to your systems. You will. Her pulse spiked. I don't work security. No, he replied. You work truth. Silence. I can't. You can. I won't. You will. Her breath caught. I don't trust you. That's fine. Then why should I help you? Because, he said calmly, someone already tried to erase you once. Her chest tightened. And whoever did it is connected to what's happening in my organization. Her breath caught. Silence slammed into the room. What? She whispered. He watched her carefully. I don't know that for certain, he said. But I know enough to treat it like a probability. Her pulse roared. You think the people who destroyed my life are inside your system? I think, he replied, that the same type of people are. Silence. And if I'm right, he continued, they'll come for you again. Her chest tightened. And if I'm wrong, then you walk away, he said. And I never bother you again. Her breath caught. Silence. You want me to work for you, she said quietly. Yes. You want me to expose your people? Yes. You want me to do it quietly? Yes. Her pulse spiked. And you want me to trust you? No, he replied. I want you to survive. Silence. Why me? She asked. Because, he said calmly, you're the only person in this building who sees systems the way I do. Her chest tightened. And because, he continued, you're the only one who doesn't belong to any faction here. Her breath caught. You're clean. Silence. I'm not interested, she said quietly. You're lying. Her pulse spiked. I'm not. Yes, he replied. You are. Why would I want this? Because, he said, you're tired of hiding. Her chest tightened. No, she whispered. I'm tired of losing. Silence. And this, he continued, is how you stop. Her breath caught. Or how I get destroyed again. That depends, he said, on whether you're as good as I think you are. Her pulse roared. Silence. Give me 1 hour, she said quietly. He studied her. For what? To look at your data, she replied. Blind. His eyes sharpened. You don't have access. I don't need it. Silence. Give me anonymized ledgers, she continued. Redacted transaction flows. Nothing identifying. And if you find something, then I walk. And if you don't, then I walk. His lips curved slightly. Not a smile. Interest. 1 hour, he said. A tablet appeared in front of her minutes later. Just numbers. Flows. Nodes. Transfers. Volumes. Her world snapped into focus. Her posture changed. Her breathing slowed. Her fingers moved without hesitation. The room fell silent. He watched her. Not because he was suspicious. Because he was learning. She scanned patterns. Clustered nodes. Anomalous latency spikes. Discrepancies between reporting layers. Her eyes moved faster than her fingers. She didn't speak. Didn't hesitate. Didn't ask questions. She didn't need to. Within 12 minutes, she stopped. Her breath caught. She stared at the screen. He leaned forward. What? There's a siphon loop, she said quietly. His pulse spiked. Where? Nested inside vendor reimbursement channels, she replied. Masked as routine operating expenses. But the volume spikes don't align with seasonal activity. Silence. How much? 7 figures monthly, she said. Possibly more. His eyes darkened. Who? I don't know yet. Can you find out? Yes. How long? 10 minutes. He watched her. Do it. Her fingers moved again. Faster. Cleaner. More precise. She isolated the anomaly. Traced it backward. followed transaction echoes through shell layers. Then, she froze. Her breath hitched. What? He asked. This isn't theft, she whispered. Then what is it? It's laundering. Silence slammed into the room. For who? She swallowed. I don't know yet. Keep going. Her fingers moved. She mapped relationships, cross-referenced transaction timings, compared internal access logs to financial triggers. Then, her stomach dropped. Her breath caught.
What? He demanded.
This isn't external, she whispered. His eyes darkened. Explain.
It's internal, she said.
Someone inside your inner structure is facilitating it. Silence.
Who?
She hesitated. Say it. She met his eyes. Your logistics director. His jaw tightened. That's impossible. It's not. He's loyal. He's compromised. You're wrong. I'm not. Prove it. She turned the tablet toward him. Look, she said. Access timestamps. Authorization overrides. Routing permissions. Every anomaly traces back to his clearance. Silence. He stared. His expression didn't change, but something in his eyes did. Keep going, he said.
She did.
Faster now. She uncovered shell networks, identified offshore funnels, mapped the laundering structure. Her fingers flew. Within 8 minutes, she stopped. Her breathing was shallow. She looked up. He's not acting alone, she said quietly. Who else? 2 compliance officers, 1 systems architect, and someone above them. Silence.
Who?
I can't see that far yet.
His jaw tightened.
But you will. Yes.
Silence.
He stared at her. Not as a maid. Not as background. As a weapon. You just saved me millions, he said. She didn't look proud. She looked tired. I just did math, she replied. No, he said. You dismantled a threat. Her breath caught. Silence. What now? She asked. Now, he replied, we test loyalty. Her chest tightened. Whose? Everyone's. Her pulse spiked. I didn't agree to that. You agreed to look. And you found. Silence. And now, he continued, you're involved. Her breath caught. I don't want this. I know. Before we continue, what happens next changes everything. Aris is about to step into a world she can't walk back from. And the choice she makes next doesn't just put her life at risk. It rewrites who she becomes. So, if you're still here, if this story pulled something in you, if you want to know what she chooses when power, truth, and danger collide, make sure you subscribe. Turn on notifications. Drop a comment and tell me what you think she'll do next. Because part 2 is coming very soon. And trust me, you don't want to miss what happens after this.